At Pimlico Plumbers, there's one thing no one wants to discuss.
Not talking about wages is like, you know, don't mention the war kind of thing.
Whether they're high paid...
It's not spoken about. It's never spoken about.
...or low paid.
We're not allowed to talk about wages, so nobody has done that.
Talking about salaries is a total taboo.
I will never tell you, because it ain't none of your business or anyone else's business what I earn.
Tonight, that's all going to change. Inspired by a 50-year-old experiment, one of Britain's top bosses is going to get his workers to reveal to each other what they're paid.
I can't believe I've done £36,000 less than everyone else. It's gutting.
Will the highest paid people in the company agree to help out the lowest?
It's your choice in life to do this job and earn that amount of money. If you want more, then go do something else. I'm only getting money for me, not for you lot.
Will being open about pay make Pimlico Plumbers a better place to work?
They're whinging, they're angry, they're saying, actually, this isn't really our responsibility.
This video is going to be about the minimum wage, which has recently popped up again in the United Kingdom, with the Conservatives pleading to raise it, and also in America with Obama. So, first of all, I just want to put a bit of a disclaimer. I'm not an expert in economics. I do, however, think that anyone who says that raising the minimum wage will do X, Y, and Z is being somewhat dishonest or being a bit ideological, because it's a lot more complicated than that, I think. First of all, there is merit to the argument, basically a Keynesian multiplier effect, whereby because workers are paid more, they'll buy more products. So I think there's a lot of truth to that. I will, however, say, well, okay, but what about manufacturing? You know, what about things that go directly out of the country? So you know, it's very complicated, very complex. I do have think that some people are kind of ideological about it, especially libertarians, because they seem to ignore that argument. For instance, I think I remember listening to a debate between Pete Schiff and some businesswoman, I think it was, and I think this businesswoman said, if you raise the minimum wage, workers are more productive because they're happy, which is probably true. And then Pete Schiff says, well, why don't they just raise? Why don't you just let them leave it to raise their wages themselves? Because it's the rational thing to do. But the thing about that is, it's not always. You see, there's a sort of irrationality to the rationality that we use. So, yes, we may be more productive if business owners increase the salaries of the workers. However, that business owner has to justify it to, well, let's say let's say it's a manager. That manager has to justify it to the business owners, and so raising the salary of their workers may get a bit of well, there may be a few inquiries as to why he did that when he reports the financial results, for instance. So there's a sort of irrationality to it, the rationality that I think we use. What else? What else did Schiff say? I think Schiff said. I think Peter Schiff said about. Oh, I know. I remember. He says, well, why stop raising it at, say, $10 or something? Why not raise it as high as like $20, $30 an hour? And which is very disingenuous again, because as an economist, he will know about the Laffer curve and about these margins, these like law of diminishing returns kind of things going on. You know, these kind of laws. So that was very dishonest of him, I think. But anyway, so I think there's another thing that isn't talked about, which is why I started with that clip, and that is, why not just let people know how much they are earning? And because in economics there's what's known as perfect competition, and under perfect competition, it's basically a sort of statement that if there's plenty of competition with no restrictions on entry into a certain area, economic field, for instance, like planes, flight industry, that kind of thing. There's no restrictions on that, and there's plenty of competition, and there's plenty of information, which is why I bring this up. People do not have this because there's a sort of taboo with asking other people how much they earn, and because of this, they don't know how much they earn. And so I think why not just let people, why not just make it mandatory that business owners tell their employers how much they get paid and make it public, and that way they can always negotiate. I've heard when I tell this to my friends, they say, well, they'll get jealous, and to that I say, well, yeah, that's the point. Of course, you want them to be jealous. That's the point. If it's, for instance, take footballers. Everyone knows that Wayne Rooney is on £200,000 plus a week. No problem with that. I've got nothing against football wages. But the point is we know how much each footballer is earning because it's on, say, Football Manager, and all these Football Manager, Championship Manager, all these football managing games. And because of that, their teammates know about this, and there's a competition to see who can get the most amount of money. But that's not true in real life, because we don't know how much each person is earning, and we don't know how much we are valued, which is why in the clip before, there was these two, I think, engineers, and one of them was getting paid more than the other, and the other man starts crying because when he finds out he's been paid in less. And I think to relate to sort of gender as well, one of the things about women is that they tend not to ask for as much raises as men, and when it comes to negotiating for their first salary, they'll tend to they won't tend to negotiate. So that explains a lot of the pay gap, for instance. So yeah, my advice would be just make it public. Just make it so that each salary is made public in the company, and then you'll get a negotiation, and you'll get wages increasing from that. So thanks for listening. Yep. Have a